And there's a chapter 3 in here. And this chapter may get me unelected. But we calculated the cost of obesity. I can't tell you how many members here are terrified when I start to want to even have a conversation what we're seeing in the math. But we know diabetes, most just functioning type 2, diabetes is 33% of all healthcare spending. We know our brothers and sisters out there that have multiple comorbidities, that 5% of the population is over 50% of all of our healthcare spend. I've shown you chart after chart after chart here showing healthcare is the driver of our debt. And we got 5% of our brothers and sisters who are really sick, and the most common morbidity within that population is obesity. Of the 4,000 human diseases, and I have this one really well documented, 4,000 functioning, 2,000 are related to obesity. So 2 out of the 4,000. Are we willing to basically have a moment of honesty? I'm going to show you a couple charts here. We're in trouble. Have you seen the latest obesity statistics of our kids? Have you seen the numbers of how many Americans are dying? It's immoral that we're terrified to talk about this. And you're going to see in the report, because we spent a lot of time working on the math, and they wouldn't let us use some of the more optimistic math because it wasn't properly vetted. So we had to find peer-reviewed studies with lots of math and that could be recalculated and done. But we're looking at if we could stabilize the sickest in our obese population, both with productivity, because you get to come back into society and work, but also the healthcare costs associated. It's a few $1 trillion in the 10-year window. There is a moral path to save us from the crushing debt. Are we willing to adopt policy that basically says we love and care for people and we'd like them to live for a while? We'd like them to not be miserable all the time. But are we willing to discuss the Farm Bill?
Good afternoon, friends. This is shocking news. Republicans have just made a big announcement on government spending, and it could affect millions of Americans. Lawmakers in Congress will have to make a decision soon, as crisis relief aid continues to be distributed. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for the complete details. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. To enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, dearest friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. The chances for a government shutdown to occur in the United States inched a bit higher today, as a group of House Republicans publicly said what they need to see in any stopgap bill to keep federal offices open past September 30th. The House Freedom Caucus said in an official statement they would not support a temporary spending bill unless it included several things likely to be opposed by Senate Democrats and the White House. The government's budget year ends on September 30th, 2023, meaning new funding must be approved by then to keep many government agencies open and operating normally. However, the funding bills for those agencies are still working their way through the House and Senate separately, and that is the need for a short-term bill. Usually, such a placeholder bill is non-controversial and simply keeps government spending at the same rate for a small period of time. But the Freedom Caucus indicated that is not an option for its members. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has downplayed the chances of a government shutdown. Currently, House Republicans hold 222 of the House's 435 seats, meaning they can lose 4 members at most before being forced to rely on House Democrats to cross the aisle and vote with them. If the Freedom Caucus holds firm on its demands, it could force House Democratic Speaker Kevin McCarthy to seek Democratic help, which in turn could allow Democrats to force concessions on what's in the stopgap bill. Both McCarthy and his counterpart in the Senate, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, have downplayed the odds of a shutdown, even though a clear plan to avoid one has yet to materialize. If the Freedom Caucus holds out and Speaker McCarthy and Democrats keep the government open on a temporary basis starting October 1st, there is no guarantee an agreement on overall funding for federal agencies and programs for all of 2024 will be reached, and the Freedom Caucus's antics may sharpen divisions within the House Republican Conference. Before lawmakers left for recess, Representative Mike Simpson, who is not a member of the Freedom Caucus, had complained the group was endangering the party's more moderate members in swing districts by forcing them to vote on bills that would never pass in the Senate. But several states are still distributing tax rebates akin to stimulus checks, kicking back some money to residents that can help offset inflation. While not quite as generous as the federal crisis stimulus checks, the state payments, many of which have been distributed as tax rebates, have provided much-needed relief to cash-strapped households, often tied to income levels listed on people's 2021 tax returns. These rebates are generally in the ballpark of a few $100s, though some can amount to more than $1,000 for a family. State stimulus checks were common in 2022, to the extent that they caused a bit of drama with the IRS earlier this year. But that's not so much the case anymore. The state of Alabama will begin sending $150 rebates to residents this November. The state is lowering its grocery tax from 4% to 3% next month because its education trust fund had a $2.8 billion surplus. The rebates are meant to compensate residents for the higher grocery taxes that they paid while the surplus was mounting. Montana residents are receiving income tax rebates of up to $1,250 if they filed 2021 state tax returns. The state of Montana began issuing the rebates last month. The rebate comes from a budget surplus. Separately, Montana homeowners may be eligible for additional property tax rebates of up to $675, though they have to apply for the additional money. More than 900,000 New Mexico taxpayers are set to receive their state rebates, which were approved after the state set revenue records. In Minnesota, residents who earned less than $75,000 in 2021 will receive $260 in rebates, which started going out this week. The rebates are meant to address the financial challenges that residents of Minnesota experience related to the crisis. All eligible households with dependents will receive $260 per person, up to $1,300 in total. Well, my beautiful and my most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me here and for being part of this community, my friends. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday and every Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.